Today I want to do something simple in the conversation. Um, we're in conversation now, so everything will be coming in from going to the post office to going everywhere. But let's start with good evening, everybody. This is Auntie P. Thank you for joining me today. A bit late, but it's okay. So, in the conversation, like I said in my opening speech, we'll be dealing with classroom Chinese for teachers. And basically, what I just want to teach us is to help us find some new words that we can use in our daily conversation. It's going to factor in a classroom scenario, but let's pay attention to the usual things, which is the tone, the finals, and the initials, as well as uh, the English interpretation. Then, in the course of explaining, I would chip in one or two things because spoken Chinese is a regular day-to-day thing. In this particular place now, we see that we only have, from what you can see on the screen, we only have the anzi, the anzi being, we only have the anzi being the Chinese character. We have the pinyin, that is the alphabetical English writing that translates into the anzi. And this shows you your tone and the combination of finals and initials. Then we have the meaning in English. So we're going to take it gently and slowly. I don't plan to take so much time today, but I just want us to learn new words in a way that forms a conversation, a real life conversation scenario. I think that's basically what I want to do. Uh, is a classroom Chinese for teachers. So I come into the class, what is expected to be said, what are the things I would see, and all that. So, number one says, 同学们好，现在上课. What that means? Hello, everyone. Or, everyone there would also mean students, colleagues, but let's call it students. Because when you say 同学 means students. But if it's a student that is saying 同学, if it's a student that is saying it, what it will imply will be colleagues because he's talking to his colleagues. But since it's the teacher that is saying it and he used the word 同学, he cannot call them colleagues. It has to be students. But in this case, they wrote everyone. Everyone should have been daja. Daja means everyone. Daja. Daja means everyone. We'll get there. But I'm just trying to explain so that we can see how it goes. So he said, 同学们好. 现在上课. 现在 means, in literal terms, 现在 means now. If I say 现在, it means now, right now. 上课 means, to commence classes, to commence learning, to commence teaching. But in this context, 同学们好,现在上课. 现在 is let's begin the class, now let's begin the class. So you can see in the English, how there means hello, which is the ni hao. I told us before that ni means you, how means good in the literal interpretation. But when you put precious how, for example, precious how in a greeting form, precious how means hello, precious. I'm using the name now. So when you say 同学们好, it's like saying ni hao, hello. But 同学们好 means I'm putting hello. I've removed the ni because the how there is actually the greeting. And the 同学 means everyone or colleagues. So, or students. In this case, they are classrooms. So students, hello students, hello everyone, good morning students in our own context. Now, which is 现在. Now, let's begin our class. I hope we get that. Then we'll move to the other one. It's a classroom. 请看黑板. Please, the reason why I'm speaking the Chinese is that I want us to see the way I pronounce it and get used to the tones, although the tones are written there. And I hope we'll practice because, like I said, spoken Chinese is practice. Qing. Qing is the third tone, as you can see. Qing kan. Qing kan. Hei ban. Hei is the first tone. Ban. Please look at the blackboard. Please there. Qing there means please. Kan means look. In some cases, it means see. But in the context to which it is used, you can use it as look instead of see. You can say kan means look, but it could also means see, to see something, which is invariably the same thing as look. Heiban means blackboard. Heiban means blackboard. In our last lecture or the lecture before, I did say that Chinese languages use short words, short characters, but when you interpret it in English, you add you add other things to it. You can add a conjunction, you can add an adjective. You just add something to it, but in the Chinese, is the direct word. Heiban simply means blackboard. Qing means please. Look means can. Now, if I want to say it literally, it's going to be please look blackboard. But now there is hat and there is D, and these things are not written in Chinese. Now, somebody will say, is there art really in Chinese? I've checked. There's really AT as a word translated in Chinese really doesn't exist. There is the exists. J means the. Jega, this one. The book. Jega shu. J J means the. But in this context, you cannot say Chinkan the Heiban. No. So it has to be Chinkan Heiban. Literally, you just know it. Look at the blackboard. Number 3. Qing Ting Wo Fai. Qing Ting Wo Fai. Qing Ting Wo Fai. Qing is still the third tone. Ting is the first tone. Please listen to my pronunciation. I didn't actually plan to interpret it, but I was actually telling us to please listen to my pronunciation, because that will determine the tones and other things we need to pay attention to. So I needed to clear that for us. So Qing Ting Wo Fine, which means please listen to my pronunciation, and this is actually why I decided to do this text. It's like me teaching and looking at my students and say, please listen to my pronunciation, because it is important. My pronunciation is going to do a lot to your understanding the language. Qing, ting, wo, fine, fine. You can see it's not fa, yin, or fine, or it's a first tone. Fine is simple. Qing, ting, wo, fine. Then number 4 says, ting, wo, shuo. Ting, wo, shuo. Ting, wo, shuo. Ting means to listen. Ting means to listen. Wo means I, me. Shuo means to say, to speak. Speak is shuo. Now, if I say ting wo shuo, it means listen to me. Invariably means listen to what I'm saying. But in English, if I say listen to me, in Chinese, it means ting wo shuo. Without having to say, without saying speak. You just know if you're listening, it means you're listening to what somebody is saying. So with Chinese and the interpretation, it has to do with just common sense, in some ways. Because if I say ting wo shuo, when I speak it to a Chinese person, it means I'm speaking, listen to what I'm saying. But basically, in the clear terms or the correct grammar, it means listen to me. But if I want to add more things, I can say listen to what I'm saying, Mm-hmm. Then this one is a gain wo shuo. Gain wo shuo. What that means is say it after me. If, for example, I'm seeing you or everybody face to face, and I'm like thing, and you guys are like saying thing, sure, and you guys are repeating sure. If I want to say it, I say gain wo shuo means say it after me. Like they'll say A, B, C, D. Normally they'll tell the student repeat after me. So this is exactly what it means. But Chinese, when they want to interpret, sometimes they interpret literally with anything. But this just repeat after me. Repeat after me. Because if I want to look at gain was sure in the context of individual interpretation, to say gan means with. Gain was sure is say it with me. But in Chinese language, when I say gain was sure, it means repeat after me. Repeat after me. When I say it, say it. So let's say it together. Will be omeichi sure. But in this case, it's gain was sure means I say this, you repeat after me. So not say after me. It's just their way of interpreting that it's not very well. But I can tell you that what they're trying to say is repeat after me. That's the correct word to use. Repeat after me. You know, or when you say please listen to me or pay attention, that's actually the word. Tin was sure is like pay attention. That's the correct English word. Pay attention to what I'm saying. You know, if you say please listen to me, it looks like the people are distracted and you're telling them, you know, but there is no please there because there is no chin. Did you notice that the character chin is not there? Go back to the first page. You see, chin is here, which means please. But in this case, say please listen to me. No, but there is no chin there. So there is no please in this context. What it's just trying to say is listen to me or pay attention. Pay attention to what I'm saying. Listen to me. Pay attention to what I'm saying. Gain or sure means repeat after me. That's the correct language. Repeat after me. You know, do gain what do, read with me. Actually, gain what do should have been let's read it together or repeat after me in terms of the reading context right now. Repeat after me in terms of the reading context. So if I'm reading a book and I say, I am a boy, you have to repeat, I am a boy. But in the context of gain what do, we're supposed to read it together. 1, 2, 3, go. I am a boy. Gain what do, to do it together. But yeah, they say read after me. Fine. It means repeat it after me. When I read, you read. When I read, you read. You know, gain what share right after me. So you can see that it's just the way they are interpreting. You know, basically it's just if I write, you write. So it's just write what I'm writing. Write as I write. You know, I don't know if it's supposed to be right after me. No, it's not the right interpretation. The correct interpretation would have been write what I've written. Write what I write. You know, and just like you say, repeat after me in terms of spoken words. If I'm speaking, instead of saying say after me, to be repeat after me. That's gain was sure, repeat after me. Gain or do, read with me or read after I have read a page or read after me or uh, uh, read with me would have been the most appropriate, or let's read together, or recite after me, recite after I have recited what I want to write. So then they said, Zai Tin Ibien, number 8, Zai Tin Ibien. All the number 5 to number 7 is just trying to tell you what a teacher will tell a student. Say after me, repeat after me, read after me, write what I have written, and things like that. But they just gave you the literal interpretation. If I'm in the classroom and I want to tell my teacher, copy what is on the board, that's the word. Copy what I have written. Copy what is there. Because if I write something and I say, repeat what I have done, means you're copying what I have written to see if you can follow the Chinese character. So I don't know if it's the correct thing to say read after me, say after me. Say after me, well, they can say, but what it means basically is to repeat after me. If I say something, you repeat it. So the right word in English would have been repeat after me, right? Then when you say gain or do, it means read after me. If I repeat what I have just read, if I read this is a boy, you say this is a boy. Then write after me, just copy what I've written. If I've written this, you copy. If I write it, copy. Write it and just copy. Let me be sure that you can write it again. But it's okay. That's their interpretation. Basically, what they're trying to say is that if you're teaching like ABC, since we are learning ABC Chinese right now, so it's okay to say do after me, do as I do, you know, things like that. Then number 8 is Zai Ting Ibian. Zai Ting Ibian means listen again. Listen to it again, or listen to me again. or listen to whatever it is we were doing again. Is a repetition of what has been done in the terms of listening, because there is thing there. So let's pay attention to some keywords. Do means to read. Do means to read. And this is the character for do. It means to read. This is the character for share. Share means to write. This is the character for sure, to speak, to say. Sure means to say. You can see there is gain, 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 which is war, 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 war. That means high. I told you war is high. Gain means with. Gain means with. The standing definition of gain means to meet, to be with. Wagani, me and you. You with me. Usually it's with. It's not and. It's actually with. The word wagentai chichu. She went with me. Things like that. With. Gain is with. Depending on the context. But it's with. It means that's with being WITH. So in the context of studying, repeat after me, write after me, or read after me, write after me. So let's assume you've read a text and I want you to repeat it again. So I say, listen again. When I was doing my Chinese and we had to do listening, we listened to a Chinese, let's call it recording. They explain, maybe describe, let's say Beijing, the city of Beijing. When they finish describing the city, then it pauses and then questions comes. So if you're like, I didn't get it, I say, okay, read it again. Listen again. So means to listen again, and that's for that. Read it again. Read it again. Say it again. Still a repeat. It still means repeat, but say it again. Means repeat it. Repeat what you've said. Say it again. Read it again. Write it again. It's just the again and again. Share again, write it again. Then there's 现在 听写. 现在听写 is listen, write. And listen, write only happens in dictation. The teacher dictates and you write. So when somebody tells you 现在听写, means right now we are doing dictation. So let's dictate. Bring out your notebooks and your pen, esophagus, and then you spell this, and then you spell. So it's a call and response for teacher and students. So that's why I told us before, Chinese words are, you can pick one or two words, and then when you put them together, they form something else, but they understand what they're trying to. So you can see dictation as an English word means think share, because one person has to listen for what somebody else is saying for you to be able to write. So that's think share. That's dictation. Now the dictation. Then the longer words. Let's go for that. This is Qin da kai shu. Qin da kai shu. You can see the qin is there again. Qin means please. Da kai means open. Da kai means open. Shu means book. So Qin da kai shu. You can see in the interpretation they say, please open your books. But in that place, there is no you there or you're there. If I were to say it as a learner in Chinese, I'll say, 请打开你们的书. 你们 means your books, means plural. Or 请打开你的书. Please open your book. But if you say this in class, 请打开书 in a Chinese class, they understand, the students know what it means. You don't need to put ni, you don't need to put nimen. They know it means open your book. 翻到the dash here, what that means is open to number 5 page. So if I say 翻到the 5页, 翻到the 3页, it means I've already, in the last class, we talked about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We did it before. 1, 2, 3, 五六七八九十一二三四五六七八九十 We did it in the last class. Let's go back and revise. So you can see the dash they put there. The dash they put there, you can put anything. 烦到第六页 Year means pages or page. So when they say 烦到 D dash, you put any of the ER, 三四五六七八. That's a simple one. Before we start doing 11, 12, but let's be sure with 10. So you can put anything there. 烦到 D year and turn it to page 1. 1 being year. Then we continue. 读课文 If you notice in our text, maybe I'll show it when I'm done. 课文 is like saying, how would I call it now? When we want to do the lesson, when they'll say lesson 1, usually they'll write at the side somewhere, 课文, which is like text, you know, and stuff like that. 要大声朗读要大声 Dashen means loud. Da means big. Shen means sound. So when I say use a big sound to read, it means read aloud. Yao da shen learn do. Yao da shen learn do. Please, let's understand that I'm not expecting us to understand. The purpose of this class is not to bring us to the place of understanding, because you can see there are no pictures and they are longer. Is to help us recognize the tones and how the means, and I said again, the finals and the initials. That's the purpose of this class. In a classroom environment, and learn new words that are in the classroom environment. So before, we've not done anything like yao. Yao means use in this case. Use, read aloud, you know, read aloud. You know, 读课文要大声朗读 you know, 读课文课 you can see my tone. It's I'm just conversing. This class for me is just conversing. It's like I'm conversing with you guys generally. It's not like the teaching that I do, taking it simple. This one I'm just trying to speak and allow you guys see how the spoken Chinese go. 读课文要大声朗读 which means read the text and read it aloud. 朗读 there is a combined word that says read. This 朗读 and do means the same thing, but the usage is different. Read the text. Read the text. That one sounds like an instruction, like read the text. So you open the text. And then there is another additional instruction thing. Read it aloud. The first one is read the text. So you can decide to just murmur it. But the second one is read it aloud. Literally, it could also mean open to the text and then read it aloud. Flip through the text or open to the text and read it aloud. So that's that on Londo. Londo, they just added some kind of, should I call it an adverb to differentiate the first read to the second read. But basically they are reading, but how it is read is what make the Londo to join the do different from the first do. It's just like in English, we have such words. I'll try to figure out, in English, usually they'll tell you, read the text aloud. It would have just been a continuous thing. You know, they've told you already to turn to page 4 and read the text aloud. You know, but in this case, they want to tell you, turn to page 4, read the text, and read it aloud. So it's like, open to this page, read the text, and how should I read it? Read it aloud. But in English, probably they'll just go open to page 4 and read the text aloud. join it together. But in Chinese, there's this break. Okay, so that just our vocabulary grammar differs. So number 15, you say, you went to Chinwen. There is any problem, you have any question, you know, wenti in the classroom we can mean say it means question. Outside in the real world, when you say wenti means problem. So, but since we're in the class, let's keep it to classroom. You wenti Chinwen. If you have questions, please ask. Chinwen means please ask. When Chinwen joins together, it means excuse me. There are places when you say Chinwen. Chinwen there doesn't mean please ask. It means excuse me. And you know, usually when you tell somebody excuse me, you are probably going to ask a question, because there are two types. There's laoja, there's excuse me. Laoja is like excuse me, and you're not asking any question you want to pass. It still means excuse me, assuming there's a crowded place and I say laoja, I'm not asking you a question, but you're blocking my way, so I want to pass. But if I'm new to a place and I want to ask a question, say Chinwen, it means excuse me. At that point, it means excuse me, not please ask. But the reason why you use it is because you're planning to ask a question, but you want to draw the person's attention politely. So you say Chinwen, which is excuse me. Then you now go Chin Dao Lu Zai Nahali, because I'm new. So, but if I say Laoja, the person will just give way for me to pass. I don't have any intention to ask a question. So what you use, even though they mean the same word in English, in Chinese, the context makes it different. So Chinwen here means please ask. You went to Chinwen. If you have questions, please ask. That's in the classroom. But when you go outside and you say Chinwen, it doesn't mean please ask. The teacher is the one telling you please ask. But when you go outside and you use Chinwen, you are the one that want to ask a question. So you're politely, at that point, that same word, the same character, the same word means excuse me. Then you proceed to asking your question. I hope we get it. So that's why I said this is just conversation, which is not like the text conversation we do to learn new things. This is just a general conversation I plan to use to explain more of Chinese grammar and how it goes. Then the next one is 现在不知作业现在不知作业现在 all of them are fourth tone. 现在不知作业作业 means assignment. 现在 means now. 不知 means like it's like an adjective you use in expressing the urgency of what you want to say. Now is assignment. Now the assignment for today. So buji is more like saying take down, but we can't write it here, but that's what I'm saying. Now take down today's assignment. Do you get what I'm saying? Now take down today's assignment. You've done all the reading, you've repeated after me, you've written after me, you've asked all the questions. Right now, take down the question, take down the assignment. Now it's time for assignment. But in Chinese, they say, 现在不知作业. Now the assignment for today. And they didn't write today. In all this sentence, they didn't write today. But because they say now, buji there is trying to tell you, as a matter of urgency, I haven't done all what we have done. The assignment for today. But in this character, because today means Jintian, if they had said 现在今天的作业, that would have been now today's assignment. But the buji there is like an adjective to tell you, right now, take down the assignment for today. You understand? Without putting today, without mentioning today or even writing today, the students know that the assignment they're about to take is for today because of the word buji. Buji there doesn't really mean, if you look at what I've just explained, 现在 means now, 作业 means assignment. The is not buji. The is j. That's the. So it's supposed to be 现在 j 作业. But no, the buji there It's a Chinese word that when it comes up, depending on the context it is used, you know what it's supposed to be. In English, I don't know what we call such words that gives you the contextual meaning for you to be able to know why these words were said. It might not really have any meaning in the sentence, but it might not have any interpretation. That's the word. But it just tells you today. Like in this place, it's telling them, take down today's assignment. Buji, Jintian de Zoye. But there's no Jintian there. Then number 17 tells us, 有事深刻的生死要会读会写. That's the assignment now. Preview 生词 means new words. 深刻 means new lessons. So, 有时 is preview. 深刻, you can see 深刻 means new lessons. And it is before new words. 深刻的生词, 生词 means new words. 生词 means new words. You can see the way the English and the Chinese. In Chinese, the new lesson came before, the new lesson came before the new words. But in English, preview the new words of today's lesson or of the new lesson. We did a new lesson today, so let's preview. The assignment is to preview the new words we have learned in today's lesson. So in Chinese language, 有时深刻 new lesson. The 生词 is today's new words. You should be able to read and write them. Just say 要会读 means to read. 会写 means to write. You should be able. 要 there. 要 in a way means give. I want. As in, that's the meaning. 我要 I want. So want is there. 要 is mostly like want. 我要 in give is what gay. So give is not give. It's 要 means want. But in this context, 要会读会写, it has turned into you should be able. You should be able to. You should be able to read. So preview the new words in the new lesson, and you should be able to read and write. So that's the word. What did we learn today? I'll tell you. We learned new words. Some of the words we've learned from previous class, but we learned new words. We also learned how grammar, Chinese grammar and English grammars are fixed. It's not the same literal way that we speak English that we speak Chinese. With Chinese, you can write just 4 characters, but when you interpret it, it can be a long sentence of more than 10 words. Because all those adjective, conjunction, adverb, we come into it. But in Chinese, just 1 character can capture 3 words because the 1 character, by context, already tells what that word means. Imagine, look at this one. 要会读会写. In English interpretation, it means you should be able to read and write. How many words? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. For how many characters? 5. That's because of the context it was used. That was in the context. It's like if you go to buy a drug and the doctor, no, let's say the pharmacist asks you, 要会读吗? The moment he puts ma, it changes into question. He's trying to ask you, can you understand it? Can you read the prescription? Can you read it? 要会读吗? But if he said 要会读, it means he's sure that you should be able to read it and understand what the prescription is supposed to be. So what we did today is conversation, but telling us the difference between Chinese words, characters, their meaning, and what it stands for. How it differs with English and why you need to understand context. If you're in the classroom, there are words you use in the classroom. You must be able to know, oh, in the classroom, this is what this word means. If you use it in the marketplace, it might mean different thing. Like I told you about Chinwen. Say you went in Chinwen. In the classroom, it means if you have questions, ask me. If you have questions, ask. In doubt, ask. However, if you do that outside, it's a different thing altogether. We'll have time to continue from here. I'll stop now and we'll go back and have a refresh look at it, and let's see. In the next class, we'll see. So let me repeat what was said in class. Yowenti, chin share. It means if you have questions, please write it in the comment section. Thank you. Bye for now.